The Indiana Fever have once again gone viral on social media after video footage from their very first scrimmage is circulating.
Training camp has begun, and the Indiana Fever are drawing attention. Video from their first scrimmage was just released, and fans are giddy. The tempo is quick, the energy is high, and the chemistry is beginning to click. We'll analyze the scrimmage footage, highlight the highlights, and then go into Caitlin Clark's Day 2 interview, where she discusses her off-season training, how she's settling into the league, and how she fits in with this new squad.
Where she talked about the team and the team chemistry and what is going on, how her off-season went, all of those types of things.
And now, let's examine the tape and see what we can see. It's going to be fantastic. We'll discuss both pieces of material.
This is the first official scrimmage that these girls have done together.
Did you notice that the video clearly shows the starting lineup? Dana, Smith, Bonner, Alyssa, Mitchell, Kelsey, and Clark, Caitlin during the offseason. This piece of information was difficult to pinpoint, but it is now at last becoming clear.
One thing I noticed about this clip right here, and I'm going to pause it really quick. One thing I noticed here was that their defense is moving really well together. And that is something that I've heard in interview clips, I've seen in different things on social media. That is one thing that the Indiana Fever do want to focus on. And that is something that Stephanie White has had an emphasis on.
The Indiana Fever's defense in that scrimmage is noticeably better than it was the previous season. Coach Stephanie White has these players locked in from the first day of camp, and it's evident in their defensive reads and rotations. The Fever had serious problems with man-to-man coverage and defensive rotations last season, but this video demonstrates that they're addressing those shortcomings head-on.
That was something, even in this first 40 seconds of this clip, the way that they are moving on defense, this first unit, is just really promising.
Their ability to work as a unified team rather than 5 separate players is what most clearly distinguishes their defensive connection. As one defender changes, everyone responds in perfect synchronization, resembling a practice ballet in which every step initiates the subsequent movement. It is evident when a player yells out a screen, and the coverage appears right away. Coach White has made defense her main priority, and the players have given her system their whole attention.
Someone who also really impressed me already, which I've been impressed with her game, whether she's on the Fever or not, is DeWanna Bonner, because she is just someone, she's a veteran, she's in the right place at the right time, even though this is the first time that they're on the court together and they're still like working out their offenses, figuring out each other's play style. DeWanna Bonner just knows where to be, and you can see her almost being a floor general without the ball. You can see her pointing to certain places, finding the open man.
As a floor general, Dana Bonner is revolutionizing their defensive strategy by directing traffic and making sure that everything is positioned correctly. Her championship experience is evident in the way she knows exactly where to be and communicates that knowledge to teammates in real time by pointing, talking, and adjusting. These leadership moments raise everyone's defensive awareness, which has an impact on the team as a whole. Natasha Howard added hustle and defensive energy to this. Her blocks show the new defensive intensity the Fever are establishing. She challenges every shot that comes her way and dives for loose balls, exhibiting the dig mentality that was lacking from the previous season.
Natasha Howard is everywhere on the court. She is going to hustle.
The combination of this defensive change and their dedication to playing quickly, which is a fundamental quality they are obviously embracing, is really encouraging.
Here, we've already seen in this first few minutes of the scrimmage how fast they are moving the ball. They are going up and down the court. That is one thing that you have heard from every single player on this Indiana Fever team, is that they want to play fast. So regardless of if they know the plays or not, regardless if they have offensive, defensive schemes, they are running the ball and they are getting active on both ends of the court. And that is something that they're picking up again from day one, like they said they were going to.
Coach White exemplifies how a solid defense generates transition opportunities by pushing up court purposefully as soon as they secure stops. The scrimmage reveals that they are truly putting this quick-paced philosophy into practice, starting with those crucial defensive stands.
Look, and this video already has 120,000 views in just less than a day. So that's how excited people are to see this new Indiana Fever team.
When Clark eventually made her iconic three-pointer, it was an incredible highlight moment.
And then this is the clip that was going super viral where they were running a fast break. Caitlin Clark's hits her signature three.
While celebrating her shot, she also displayed her fierce dog mentality and competitive fire. She is brave, intense, and genuinely feels like a Kobe 2.0 in the making.
And then bangs her head up against the padded wall. So, in true Caitlin Clark fashion. I think she even commented on Instagram, like, not sure why I celebrated like that. So, anyway, still shooting the way that Caitlin Clark does.
However, while we're concentrating on the Fever's enhanced defense on the court, Caitlin Clark's Day 2 interview during training camp shows a mental shift that parallels her physical one, which is precisely what this roster overhaul needs at the moment.
Yeah, because there were so many interesting things that she had to say and things that she had to say about this team.
After practice, reporters sat down with Clark and asked her right away what had changed in her second training camp. Take a listen.
Let's check it out.
What feels different for you now in second training camp compared to year one?
Her response wasn't about her personal abilities or comfort level. Rather, she highlighted the completely changed surroundings around her, stating that the main advantage is having new teammates and coaching staff. Clark clarified that this wasn't a casual remark, but rather marked a significant change in her strategy, emphasizing team integration over individual growth. Pay attention to this.
Well, I think the biggest benefit, obviously there's the aspect of having a new coach and a lot of new teammates. So in that regard, like, it's still a learning process and just trying to figure your teammates out and figure out the new system. But the pace and physicality and all of that, you're used to it. You're ready for it. You're ready for the speed of how things are going to move. I think that having that under your belt is kind of what's helped me the most.
This is significant since Clark isn't just adjusting to the WNBA anymore. She's also learning a whole new system alongside both rookies and veterans. She acknowledged that it's still a learning process and emphasized how crucial it is to comprehend her colleagues and adapt to Coach White's tactics. What's amazing about this is how Clark presents the challenge as an exciting chance to create something unique rather than as something overwhelming.
The most here, but at the same time, like, it's a learning process for all of us. There's, most of the team here and most of the girls here are new players. So and the ones that have come back, a new coach, we're just trying to learn in the same way and build relationships with our teammates. So similar in that regard, but at the same time, having a year under.
Everyone's concern right now is the chemistry question. How long will it take for a team with so many new components to gel? Clark tackled this directly, admitting that they are effectively a new club with a new coaching staff. But these are the things that ought to have Fever followers were thrilled, since she seemed unconcerned with the schedule and instead concentrated on the process of forming bonds and recognizing one another's advantages.
She says it is going to take some time for these players to figure out each other's play styles, get to know each other on the court. It is essentially a brand new team, a brand new coaching staff. And as much as all of us have been so excited to see these players get after it on the court, because on paper, this looks like a stacked team. This team looks so much better than they were last year. There is something in basketball called chemistry, and that's something that they are going to continue to have to build. But with the pieces that they have, it seems like it will hopefully not take as much time as it did last season for these players to find each other.
When asked about it, Clark said that strength training was her main focus during the off-season. "I certainly feel a lot stronger," she said, giving special credit to her strength coach, Sarah. Did you notice that the unspoken message here is clear that this group might gel faster than anyone expected, and that early chemistry could help the Indiana Fever hit the ground running next season? It was Clark's physical transformation that truly grabbed everyone's attention. Take a listen to this.
Did you feel that photo of your arms go viral last month? Just how much stronger do you feel kind of coming into training?
Yeah, I mean, that was like my biggest focus in the off season, was just trying to get stronger and really working on that. And really thankful for Sarah, our strength and conditioning coach, like put in a lot of time with me, and we were in here consistently. Like, I think that was the biggest thing for myself, is just having that consistency to be able to work on it for 6 months or whatever it was. So I certainly feel a lot stronger, and I'm a pretty self-aware person. I knew that was going to be a huge part of it, and it's going to help me offensively, it's going to help me defensively, it's going to help me not get as tired throughout games. So yeah, definitely one of the focus points of my off season is just getting stronger, and even through these 2 practices, like I can certainly feel it.
This went beyond simply appearing more powerful. Consider what this means. Clark described how her play on both ends of the court would improve as a result of her newfound strength, which would also help her stay energetic throughout games. Basically, In addition to her already exceptional shooting and passing, Clark should now be able to handle contact, fight through screens, and finish at the rim. This is a frightening possibility for WNBA defenses, who are already having trouble stopping her as a rookie.
So for her to have an entire offseason to focus on strength, I feel like she is finally able to build the kind of muscle and muscle mass that she needs for the WNBA season, especially with the physicality of the WNBA.
Clark also shed light on why this physical change is so important for rookies. For example, she mentioned how she had to go straight from college to WNBA training camp last year, and that spending the entire off-season on strength training allowed her to gain the muscle mass required to succeed against the league's physicality. This background clarifies why many rookies struggle at first in the W, because the transition period just doesn't allow for the physical preparation the league requires.
What was it like going 7 months without having any basketball responsibilities, and how do you think you'll be better off this season because of a significant layoff?
When questioned about spending 7 months away from competitive basketball, Clark gave an intriguing response. As a player who has essentially played basketball nonstop since she was a child, you would think the break would last forever, but Clark actually found it refreshing. I thought it would take a long time, but it passed much more quickly than anticipated, and the interesting thing is that Clark saw this time as an opportunity rather than as wasted time.
Yeah, I mean, it was an adjustment for sure. Like, I was so used to playing basketball for basically a year of my life. That's all I did, so the rest was certainly great. And, I thought it was going to feel long. It really didn't. It felt really short. Like, we played a lot of pickup. We were in here all the time. I was in here with Keith all the time. Had teammates coming in and out all off-season working with me and wanting to get better. So, like I said, I thought it would feel kind of long and drag a little bit, but it goes way quicker than you think. But that rest aspect for myself, just, getting my body where it needed to be and really working on things that I needed to work on was super important, but I'm ready to compete again, so I'm excited.
Consider it. While some fans questioned why Clark wasn't playing in other leagues to stay sharp, Clark had the unique opportunity of having time to prepare her body and mind. Most elite collegiate players move right into WNBA training after their final NCAA game. In reality, Clark was following a purposeful plan. Rather than merely lounging, she was actively changing herself through targeted training sessions, pickup games, and workouts.
And that was something too with Caitlin Clark's off season. A lot of people were speculating, and even me, they were saying, how could she go an entire off season? Someone who is so obsessed with basketball, how could she go an entire off season?
The physical toll of a collegiate season followed right by a pro season is severe. There is no time for recuperation or opportunity to develop the necessary strength. It seems like Clark discovered a secret weapon because most rookies never have enough time to properly prepare for the physical demands of the WNBA. She strategically used the 7 months to give her body the rest it needed, while also building strength in ways she could never have during constant competition.
This was a lot of the talks when it comes to Unrivaled. And a lot of people were wondering, how is Caitlin Clark going to deal with this many months not doing that? And what she said here was kind of exactly what she needed: the rest, the recovery, getting in the weight room, getting stronger, being able to work on little things that for the past probably entirety of her basketball career, at least her collegiate career, she didn't have that much time to really focus on those things. This is the first time that she's been able to do that.
What truly sticks out is how Clark prioritized areas she couldn't concentrate on during her relentless college career recovery. Recovery became just as important as training, and she worked specifically on skills that needed improvement. This wasn't downtime. Rather, it was a time of transformation, and you can see it in her demeanor during training camp. She appears rejuvenated, energized, and prepared to attack this season with a completely different physical foundation than she had last year. Now, let's talk about how Dana Bonner is improving this team.
On signed with the team, she said at this point in her career, she's playing for championships, and obviously have championship experience with those veterans they brought in. How much does that get to add to the culture, or just what it takes to win?
Clark's eyes brightened when she was questioned about Bonner's championship experience. Dana is a selfless leader who genuinely wants to win. Clark highlighted that there is a distinction between athletes who discuss winning and those who actually do it, and he clarified which group Bonner belongs to.
Yeah, I mean, DB has been tremendous. She's such a selfless leader. she's here to win. She says that, but she like really means it, and she leads in that example every single day. Like we were just sitting over there talking after today, like just talking about practice and, you know, things we need to work on.
Not only is Bonner skilled, but her champion mindset is what makes her presence so valuable. Last season, the Fever were a talented team still learning how to win, and now they have someone who knows exactly what it takes to capture a championship. Clark specifically emphasized how great it is to have someone with championship experience leading the team. This isn't just about XS and OS, it's about teaching younger players what it takes to win at the highest level.
DB's been tremendous, and obviously, you know, not only as a leader, she's a tremendous basketball player too, and she's won championships. She knows what it is. So when she speaks, everybody listens. So I think that was a piece of the thing we were missing last year. It's like we didn't really have that inside of our locker room. So just really grateful for that, and you know, just the way she talks and she leads. Like for me as a second-year point guard, like I want to win for her. Like this is the end of her.
You may be concerned about potential conflicts between these powerful personalities. The Fever now have a number of players who are accustomed to being the center of attention on previous teams. When Clark was questioned about all the alphas on the squad, her response gave away a lot about the team's mentality this season. Doing your best is more important than being an alpha. Clark clarified.
We have a lot of alpha personalities on this team. How is everybody kind of finding their space to then also be a listener, though, when the time is right?
Yeah, I think that's what makes you a good teammate, and you know, I don't think anybody's trying to be alpha. Like everybody's trying to be a good listener and be there for your teammates. It's how do you find the balance of doing both? How do you speak up and be a great leader, but at the same time, how do you listen and how do you give?
The amazing thing about Clark's response is how it destroys the story before it has a chance to establish itself. She added that everyone should strive to be their best selves, support one another, and work towards winning a championship. She doesn't care about ego conflicts or hierarchies. This is championship thinking, the kind that puts shared goals above individual spotlights, and you can tell it's not just talk. Clark clearly enjoys having seasoned winners around her, as evidenced by the way she beams while talking about Bonner's leadership.
And I think it all speaks to like the relationships that you have with your teammates. Is like you got to go out of your way to build those. So when something goes wrong or you have to hold somebody accountable, they know it's coming in the best interest of the team. So I think it just starts with building relationships, getting to know your teammates, but at the same time, we have so much great personality on this team. That's what's going to make it fun. That's what fans are going to love and to watch about us. We're going to have a lot of fun playing basketball, and you know, you embrace.
This is fully supported by the training camp footage, which shows how Bonner is always positioning and pointing teammates. She also speaks loudly during plays and huddles, and the younger players are obviously taking in everything. What's most telling, though, is that there isn't even the slightest indication of conflict, just a group of gifted players supporting a common strategy.
I'm going to end it there, but I love what she had to say here because it's essentially about egos. And that was one thing that the front office said when they were going into this offseason, is they wanted to protect the locker room. And the reporter asked here, you have a lot of alpha personalities, a lot of alpha players on this team. How are you going to figure that out? And Caitlin kind of shot that down immediately and said, like, we're not trying to be alpha. It's just great players and there's no ego here. They're all on board, have the same mission and the same goal in mind. And so hopefully this kind of mindset can continue throughout the entire season.
The Fever are doing something unique here. It's not only about assembling talent, it's also about creating an atmosphere where everyone strives for greatness. When you combine Clark's remarks regarding the team chemistry with the better defense we're witnessing in scrimmages, you begin to see why expectations are swiftly increasing for this bunch. They reflect a group that is more focused on the collective reward than individual accolades.
Or one goal. So we'll just have to see how things go.
The Indiana Fever's training camp footage depicts a squad evolving into possible playoff candidates, and with Clark putting a lot of emphasis on strength training in the winter, she's physically prepared for the WNBA's intensity. What we're witnessing now might drastically alter their season. The biggest surprise might be the team bonding. Rather than having individual alpha mentalities, they are supporting one another with a shared objective. This supportive atmosphere, together with defensive advancements, is directly related to winning more games like a well-oiled machine. This club is starting to seem like a real playoff danger. Will their defensive turnaround and season leadership help them win the season? Let us know in the comments section below.